You got to give landing space when the player comes out.
How is Caitlin after Wednesday, and do you have any update on her condition?
Yeah, she's okay. She can be out on Saturday. Obviously, it's a good time because we have all week next week, so we'll take this opportunity just to get her treatment, get her healthy, get her back on the floor.
I'm not exactly sure how Caitlin Clark injured her back on that play. I'm also not sure how a pretend basketball team gets 8 consecutive days off in the middle of the regular season. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Aren't the professional complainers in the WNBA constantly whining about their supposed brutal schedule? Our schedule is daunting. We have to play 2 games every week. We're being oppressed. Either way, summer break came at the right time for the Indiana Clarks because Caitlin Clark is once again injured, and supposedly it is the same back injury that's been bothering her for the last couple of years. Now, I am no medical expert. Unlike Jill Biden, Uncle KC does not pretend to be a doctor, but I'm pretty sure back injuries, back problems, they don't get better with age, which could be a real problem for the Indiana Clarks, because before Caitlin Clark arrived, this team could not draw flies to a fresh turd. And according to her fan base, who seem to be celebrating this injury, obviously they are not celebrating the fact that Caitlin Clark is hurt, but they are celebrating the fact that ticket prices for the Indiana Felines are supposedly crashing. Key word, supposedly. According to the men who dream of Caitlin Clark referring to them as husband, ticket prices for tonight's game between the LA Sparkles and the Indiana Felines, they are dropping faster than pants at the Butt Bongo Festival. Check it out for yourself. As you can see, the entire arena is up for sale. For sale by owner. 2 tickets for a make-believe basketball game featuring a collection of unknown players who go unrecognized at family reunions. The cheapest seats for this instant classic are selling for $16. Seats in the lower bowl are selling for less than $100. Men who aspire to have Caitlin Clark take their last name, they will claim that this drastic reduction in pricing, this sudden lack of demand, it is caused by Caitlin Clark being injured and not playing. But it's strange. Monday night, the Indiana Clarks were playing the Phoenix Masculines. Now, Caitlin Clark was fully healthy because she hadn't been assaulted yet by Al Thomas. And tickets for that unforgettable contest, they were selling for less than $10, which means Caitlin Clark is having minimal to no impact on pricing. Now, in her defense, the Great White Hope is still, without a doubt, the biggest draw in this league, at least on television. Unlike the rest of the pretenders in the WNBA, people are not telling Caitlin Clark to get off my TV. Last week, in her game against the Atlanta Dreamers, Caitlin Clark drew over 800,000 viewers on Amazon Prime. Uncle KC, that wasn't Caitlin Clark, that was Angel Reese. My Angel is a huge star. Yeah, tell that to the hardworking people who rely on tips at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Monday night, Angel Reese filled her temporary home arena to half capacity. According to Christine Brennan from USA Today, with Caitlin Clark not playing tonight, the game between the LA Sparkles and the Indiana Felines, it's expected to see a 50% decline in ratings on CBS. Well, that's also because Cameron Brink isn't playing. Have you seen her play make-believe basketball? Wowzer! Cam Brink is amazing! to answer your question, I have not seen Cam Brink attempt to play basketball, but if her level of athleticism is the same as her level of knowledge of the sport, I don't want to see Cam Brink play basketball. Last month, she was asked to name her top 5 starting 5 in the history of the NBA. Listen to her response. Watch for yourself.
Seth Curry, Damian Lee, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Del Curry.
What was that, honey? You're asked to name your best starting 5 in the history of the NBA, and you somehow overlook the icon of icons. The man so iconic, I don't even have to say his name, and you know exactly who I am talking about. You overlook LeBron James to make room for Damian Lee, Del Curry, and some dude named Abdul? I guarantee you, the loss of Cam Brink had absolutely no impact on ticket prices for tonight's game. Matter of fact, if Cam Brink was playing, ticket prices would be significantly lower. Like I said, Caitlin Clark is without a doubt the only draw in this league on television, but she's no longer having the same impact when it comes to selling tickets, especially at exorbitant prices. Why? Some will claim her fan base is revolting against the Fever organization. They are boycotting the team because they think Caitlin Clark is being mistreated by Steph White. And to be fair, that probably has something to do with it. But I think the main reason for the decline, the market is returning to normal. The market is resetting the value of WNBA tickets. 2 years ago, the average ticket to see Caitlin Clark was $200. Some games were selling for $400. This year, the average ticket is selling for $30. I think people have realized, even her committed fan base, I think they have realized this dump of a league is not worth the money. I played this clip for you guys yesterday, but I'm going to play it again. You tell me if you would pay $500 to watch this garbage. Watch for yourself.
John Hurd, the spin move, tries to dish, no. AZ comes up with a loose ball. Outstanding force defensively this year for the Wings. Chelsea Gray lost it. The Wings had it, lost it, got it back again.
Watch your back. Watch your back. They're coming behind you.
With 1-on-4, takes it inside.
That was tough. That was a tough call, but that might be, yeah, definitely. Got to look at that.
Lead is cut to 6.
2 years ago, and even last year, I would have said a long-term Caitlin Clark injury was a death sentence for the WNBA. I know the media likes to claim that the WNBA is surging in popularity, but the game in that clip between the Dallas Wankers and the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces, AJ Wilson, Paige Buckner, Elmer Fudd, supposedly 3 of the biggest stars in the league, the arena was filled to 83% capacity, 10,000 people. Now, just to give you a comparison, the NLL, the National Lacrosse League, last season, they averaged around 9,000 per game. How often do you hear about the NLL? Hell, can you name one player in the National Lacrosse League? The NLL is a niche product. Same with Major League Soccer. Same with the NHL. And whether they want to admit it or not, it's the same with the WNBA. Based on their actions, based on their efforts to diminish the drawing power of Caitlin Clark, I think the WNBA is realizing the grass is not greener. For decades, This dump of a league begged for mainstream attention and notoriety. They begged for a fan base. They begged for mainstream media coverage. They demanded better accommodations and significantly higher salaries. Well, now they got it. And I think they are realizing they're not ready. Or maybe they're realizing they don't want it. You know how when you're younger, you're dating the nice girl, she's pretty, and more importantly, she loves you. You get a year or two into the relationship and you start thinking that the grass is greener, start thinking that you're missing out, there's someone better out there for you. Maybe you come across the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. And since you're young and dumb, you dump the nice girl to start dating the beauty queen. 6 months later, you regret your decision. The beauty queen is high maintenance. She's demanding. She doesn't love you unconditionally. She only loves you for what you provide. And the second you stop providing, or she finds a better provider, she's leaving you for the dude with a bigger bank account. That's similar to what's happening with the WNBA. For decades, this league had a niche audience. It was small, it was microscopic, but the audience they had, which mainly consisted of identifiers and drag queens, they appreciated the WNBA. They allowed themselves to get lost in the world of make-believe basketball. They didn't criticize the product. They didn't criticize the activists disguised as incredibly bad athletes. They accepted the WNBA for what it was, which was extremely bad basketball. But because WNBA players wanted money they haven't earned, because WNBA players wanted to be compensated on the same level as NBA players, they kept demanding more. They thought the grass was greener. Players like Bob Griner, they wanted a taste of that grass. Apparently, Vlad Puder, he wanted some of that grass too. I can't think of any other reason he'd want to spend 8 months in Russia with Bob Griner. What WNBA players failed to realize is what came along with their demands. The consequences, the increased scrutiny, the over-exaggeration, the expectation that this league was actually professional basketball. People who knew about this dump before Caitlin Clark, we knew the product was the drizzling shits, but the mainstream didn't know. The mainstream expected a product that, at minimum, was close to being high school level basketball. I don't think the WNBA is overly concerned about Caitlin Clark anymore. If she plays, great. If she doesn't, even better. The WNBA needs to return to being a niche product. There is absolutely no reason to have 216 nationally televised WNBA games. This league was never intended to be a mainstream product. It was designed to give women a place to play basketball for charitable donations. It eventually turned into a place for activists to have a platform for their cause. But it was never designed to be taken this seriously. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.